Welcome to the Super Bowl Sunday edition of Weather to Watch. This is the 9th of February, 2025. A very active storm pattern is setting up. A very active weather pattern shaping up. The Northeast just got rid of a snowstorm. There are more to come. There's a very active pattern that includes snow, a little bit of freezing rain, and it turns out rain too. The real bitter Arctic air, there is some, but for winter precipitation, you don't need bitter. In fact, normal temperatures for February will work, but it is a very active storm track, and it is actually going to produce a warm side rain from the Tennessee River Valley southward. Big storm totals by the end of the week. We'll review all of that coming up. As always, I like to start out with the visible satellite loop. We'll put this into motion, and it is pretty cloudy across the central U.S. It is finally clearing up in parts of the middle plains, the central plains, after days and days and days of cloudiness and precipitation, light precipitation. The Northeast just got rid of a snowstorm. We'll take a look at that. And also, it's kind of hard to see, but you can kind of see a circulation out here once again, and that is the start of a circulation pattern that's going to cause trouble for much of the central and eastern U.S. You can see on the 500 millibar flow, still a broad sort of flow out of the northwest. That's enough of just to get cold air to sink into the central part of the country. Again, it's not enough to bring in cold, real cold, bitter Arctic air, but like I said, it's enough to bring in air that will support winter precipitation, and that's what we're going to talk about coming up. We'll take a look at the collective radar sample, the mosaic for the country. Actually, the country is pretty quiet for the time being. A lot of storms coming up. The Northeast is where we'll start, where one storm has just departed. And this also combines storm reports. And on this one, I just put dots for the last storm reports just for the last 3 hours or so. But we'll take another look at that latest snow track in a map coming up here in just a second. But those have all but settled down across the Northeast. Meanwhile, lake effect snows are still going on. It's amazing. It's been an amazing season for them. Mostly one long band, as you can see there, coming off of Lake Ontario right there. Otherwise, the rest of the country pretty quiet. We still have a weather system producing some very light rain through the heart of Tennessee, Nashville, down to Murfreesboro, down the road toward Chattanooga, that rain trailing back to Little Rock. Otherwise, pretty quiet across the rest of the U.S., as I said, at least for now. Over the last 24 hours, this snow made progress from the Dakotas all the way across Wisconsin and leaving just north and right around the Boston area. So if you just look at the color coding here, if you see this kind of orangish color right here, that's 8 to 12-inch snow totals, very common through central Wisconsin, portions of Michigan, and a wider belt there from upstate New York right through southern New Hampshire, Vermont, right into the Boston area. And there's even a few, if you look carefully, 12 to 18-inch reports just kind of smattered through there, one in central Wisconsin too. So that storm leaving, a couple of more are coming up this week into that same part of the world. So it'll be interesting to see what the snow totals across the U.S. Add up to when we're done with all this, let's say this a week from now. Well, this graph, which is the thumbnail for the YouTube video, sums it up pretty well. There is an active storm track with snow common along the northern edge, heavy rain, and in the middle of that, a layer of ice that needs to be watched carefully. The details of winter precipitation are kind of hard to nail down this far out, but there certainly is a possibility for all of this to happen here now through Friday and even maybe points beyond that. So let's take a look at the next map. Now we're just going to use the GFS model here. The whole point of this is just to give you an idea of how many different waves of precipitation we're looking at here. So this is noon on Tuesday, so an extensive area of rain, a little layer of ice in here, and also snow from the Kansas-Oklahoma border through southern Missouri all the way over to West Virginia, parts of Virginia as well. And so all of that is going to accumulate snow. That's the first little wave. All I have to do is advance here to 9 a.m. on Wednesday. Then we still have this sort of precipitation train right here of rain, and you'll see why the heavy rain is forecast for that area as we keep looking at these maps. 9 a.m. Wednesday, another disturbance produces more widespread and heavier snow through Kansas, much of Missouri, Iowa, spreading into northern Illinois. Again, an area of ice being indicated. That'll probably spread this way through the boot heel of Missouri, south of St. Louis, and then more rain and thunderstorms. No trigger pulled on severe weather for that yet, but it's something I would keep an eye on, certainly. Then, if we go ahead now to 6 p.m. Wednesday, backlash snows in Detroit and Chicago, and maybe as far south as Indianapolis. Again, a freezing rain situation for southern and southwestern Virginia, parts of West Virginia. Again, active thunderstorms producing heavy downpours. Again, severe weather, something we'll keep an eye on. And then finally, by noon on Thursday, here's another snowstorm in the northeast on the backside of that low. Yet another small disturbance is detected here from Oklahoma up to Arkansas and Missouri. And then there's another storm coming ashore in California. That one will impact the central U.S. By this coming weekend. I chose to just stop on Friday and just kind of sum this up for you. And if we're going to do that, again, this is one model's opinion, but we're seeing 1 foot snow totals through Kansas and into parts of Missouri, maybe even southern Missouri too, central and southern Virginia. The northeast, it gets hit again, and some of that's lake effect snow. You can just kind of tell the way it's bulleted, but some of that is actually a bona fide winter storm as well. Now, the ice total, this is a little more tricky to get right, but there is always, in most cases anyway, not always, in most cases, there is a layer between the snow and the rain where some sort of ice situation, either freezing rain or sleet occurs. So it seems to be ganging up on northern North Carolina, southern Virginia, and also a band that runs through the Ohio Valley into northern Arkansas. This is all through Friday. So very active weather pattern. There is currently a winter storm watch in all of these areas that we just showed you. I guess you could consider that the eastern portion of what we just talked about. And then if we turn our attention now, winter storm watch through Kansas. I recorded this late in the afternoon. It may have already been extended this way. That's for a different time frame, of course. That's for later in the week than for the Virginia, but it's all still active. Basically, the most active pattern is anywhere from Monday night through Thursday across the central U.S. Well, the map for Monday, high temperatures, the numbers of the high temperatures, the colors are whether it's above or below normal. So you see a lot of green and blue. So a lot of the country is below normal. Only the southeast and the southwest have a patch of warmth. The coldest temperature, the award goes out to northeastern Montana. And also the hottest down there in this very, very Rio Grande tip of Texas there. So again, it's cold enough to support winter precipitation back through here and back through here. Now, if we advance this to Thursday, much more of the country is seeing below normal temperatures. In fact, the entire, well, let's say western 2/3 of the country will be pretty cool, with the bullseye, the star of cold air in northern North Dakota this time, and the warmth heading to Florida on Thursday. Now, one last thing to cover. This is what we call a quantitative precipitation forecast. It means we just keep adding it up. So it starts today, but the bulk of this doesn't really start accumulating until sometime, as I said, late Monday and going all the way through Saturday. So you're reading this right. There are some totals here. This is the 5-inch rainfall total area. These little patches here in Tennessee and just north of Atlanta and in sort of the panhandle, I guess you could say, of North Carolina, those are 7-inch totals. So this is a serious situation. And again, this is melted down precipitation. So not all this is rain. The northern part of this right through here is going to be snow or ice. So when you get that much liquid and a cold enough temperature pattern, that could spell trouble for accumulations for snow and ice as well. We reviewed that already. It's going to be an active week, so pay attention to the weather. We'll have another national report on weather to watch coming up in 2 days. As always, I really appreciate you tuning into Weather to Watch. This comes out about every other 2 days or so. If you liked it, please indicate so by liking this video. And also, I welcome you to follow my channel as well. Have a good day.